What is up, guys? Thank you so much for clicking on this video, and today I think I'm finally going to do something that I've needed to do since I bought the Mustang, which is replace the head gasket. As you can see, I have a lot of coolant that has been flying out of the reservoir because it is bubbling, and this has been an issue since I got it, but I've been trying to deny the problem this entire time. And after fixing everything else on it and it's still not running correctly, I think it's time to finally do it. So luckily I have the 3.8 Master in his supercharged 3.8 liter V6 Thunderbird Super Coupe, which is for sale right now if y'all are interested. Sam right here, he wants to go ahead and time himself and see how quickly he can get the heads off of this engine. Basically the same exact long block, there's just a little bit difference in accessories and intake manifold, but he has replaced the head gaskets on this thing quite a few times, as well as rebuilt the engine twice. So I think it's safe to say he knows a little bit about the shitty ass Essex V6s. And I am currently repainting the wheels that I got for the Mustang. They looked really ugly when they were stock in silver, so this is the finished product. I painted them white and put a little hot pink and lime green stripe on the split tri-spokes. That way you can see the rotation of the wheel. And in the back, whenever I pull the e-brake or hydro, if I ever install one, you'll be able to see the wheel stop spinning, so it's easier to tell. But without further ado, let's get this thing yanked out. So the camera stopped recording and then it died, so we didn't get a perfect ratio of how long this took us, but we're taking the other exhaust header off. We have the other one pulled off, as well as this rear Y pipe. As if you saw in the first Mustang video, my secondary cats were glowing red, so I went in and cut them off and deleted them with this pipe, but for some reason the cracked passenger side primary catalytic converter was blown out, so there was no catalytic converter material in there, but the driver's side primary catalytic converter still had material in there. So I went ahead and chiseled all of it out, so we now have two gutted cats and two cat deletes. So hopefully that'll get rid of the bank 2 too lean, bank 1 too rich, so hopefully that'll help that out. And then UPS supposed to be delivering my head gasket set later tonight, so we're probably not going to put it back together in the same day we took it apart, but we're making good progress. God damn. Love that compression smell. We got both heads off, so about 2 hours total, which isn't bad. The passenger side head gasket was blown and the driver's side one wasn't, but you can definitely tell it was running hot. Look at that water jacket all warped. Well, this is very unfortunate. This went from a quick head gasket swap to now I'm probably going to need to take both these heads to the machine shop. That way they can mill both of them down. And I was power washing the heads to clean all the oil and debris off and everything. And when I would spray the power washer in the intake and exhaust ports, there was a little bit of water shooting out, which means the valve seal is not very good. So part of the head machining process is also relapping the valve so I can get two birds with one stone. Not that the valve leaking was a huge issue or anything, but might as well do this. I did not want to dump this much time and money into this stupid V6, but here we are. And while I wait, I went ahead and sprayed the head gaskets with the copper gasket spray. I highly recommend this every single time you do any sort of head gasket. This helps seal. And earlier you saw me cut the EGR valve off. I was trying to loosen this nut on here, but I was twisting my whole vise sideways, so I figured I'd just weld this up right here, and then if for some reason I ever want to put an EGR valve back on, I'll just be able to loosen this full thing, so that way it's somewhat reversible. It is the next day and we got some good news. It is Friday. The machine shop goes out of town on vacation on Saturday, and I didn't know that. So this morning on the way to work, I dropped the heads off. And if we see right here, we got the heads back already. So they resurfaced both heads, did the valve job, and since my gasket kit came with valve stem seals, they went ahead and put the new valve stem seals in. And we can see this was the part that was damaged. You can't tell very well, but there's still a little bit of pitting, which means that thing ate it up pretty good. So now we're gonna go ahead and slap these puppies back in. I had the fan on all night because I power washed the engine bay, like the back areas and everything, since I could actually get to it. Unfortunately, Sam is working late tonight, so he's not going to be able to assist me. So without further ado, let me throw this thing back together. Ooh, look at how good that looks. The machine shop always puts a coat of paint after they clean it and assemble it, so it's looking brand new. We got the copper gasket laid on with the block offs up front, and then they are opened up in the back so the back of the head can get cool. But now we're ready to throw this side on with the new head bolts and then torque them all down. All right, I just got both heads torqued down since they are torqued to use bolts. It was a really interesting process. You torque them all to one, torque them all to another, and then the next step, you loosen them all one at a time and then torque it, and then 180 degrees. I don't know, it's hard to explain, and it is 6:30 p.m. I have not ate a single thing today. I am sweating more than I probably should be, so I'm feeling a little bit lethargic, like I'm gonna pass out. So I think I should go get some food before I die. Just got some food, feel a little bit better. So now it is time to weld up the EGR bung on this little itsy bitsy baby little header, because the next step is bolting the headers onto the head now that it is fully mounted. So let's weld her up. And just like that, we got a little plug, and since I left the nut on there, this is pretty much just an EGR block off, so I can unscrew this and put the regular EGR back on if I ever for some reason want to do that. And we can also see we can probably burr out some of these welds to get a little bit better flow if you don't want to go long tube. Call of Duty Modern Warfare 2 hacks and cheats. Thank you so much for clicking on this. And just like that, all the parts put back on in their spots, filled with oil, filled with coolant. I don't have the exhaust connected after the Y pipe because I had hollowed out that cat, but I have it connected to the headers, and then all I need to do is connect it right there, and it is fully put back together. But I'm gonna go ahead and do the first start, see how much debris flies out of the exhaust, and hopefully she is mint. Since the machine shop painted the head and got it looking so nice, I decided to paint everything else. So right now all that paint is baking because I may not have painted the headers and valve cover and a lot of the stuff that gets hot. So this paint's gonna be baking for a while, but she sounds great. You can see quite a bit of debris that flew out too because I didn't hook it up. That way all this debris didn't go into the resonator and muffler. I could get it out before then. Hell yeah, brother. And the EGR delete, that's all the stuff. And then I made this little plate out of a license plate to cover the valve there, so we no longer have the ugly EGR thing attached here and hose running down there. I just splashed my face with water to cool off, but I put her back on the ground and fully connected the exhaust. So now she should be 100%. So let's hear how quiet and good she runs with a full exhaust. She is purring like a kitten now. I fixed all the exhaust leaks. I'm not sure where they were at, but now she sounds really quiet. So go ahead and pull her out and take her on a test drive. Hell yeah, brother. Ooh, look at how clean she looks. It's crazy these ugly ass stock wheels look so much better with paint on. I have yet to wash the outside of this car though, but now I actually feel entitled to, so we might need to go do that. And I don't know if I mentioned it, but I got this pretty gnarly bucket seat installed, and I will be making door cards soon too, as well as fixing these hinge pins, because the door is sagging a lot, so I have to slam it, as well as the fact that the windows don't want to roll down. So I got some small, slightly cosmetic things to fix now. Check engine light's always going to be on since I deleted the EGR, but she is running mint. I chirped first to second shift for a while. I actually spun second for like 1 or 2 seconds, and it definitely feels significantly faster with the valve job. He fixed all the leaking valves, so now I'm making full compression and everything like that, and this V6 woke up. I just had something very interesting happen on the first long test drive. I drove it for about 30 minutes to check everything out. It was going really well for the first half, and then it stalled on me at a stop sign and took a second to restart, and then it started misfiring on cylinder number 4, and cylinder number 4 and 6 are the two ones that gave me issues. Cylinder 4, according to the coil pack, is this first one. Cylinder 6 is the second one on the driver's side. But whenever I pulled back into the driveway, I popped the hood and I looked and everything seemed fine, so I was getting really frustrated until I heard a tick, 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 like zapping sound coming from this far back cylinder. I think that's cylinder number 3 in the back passenger side. The spark plug wire was completely off. I guess I didn't push it on good enough, but the code it was giving me was cylinder 4 misfire. So that leads me to believe this entire time I've been trying to diagnose this issue. It was actually giving me the wrong cylinder number that was misfiring, because cylinder 3 in this back one right here was the one with the blown head gasket, and it was saying it was cylinder 4 on the computer. So this probably would have saved me a whole lot of time if I knew that a while ago. I don't know why it's like that. It's labeled on the ignition coil itself. Whenever you look up engine diagrams, that is the numerical labels on the pictures. I have the spark plug wires labeled going towards the right cylinders, but I don't know what's going on with that. But regardless, I'm going to wash Lena's car because we had it parked outside for a while and it got pretty dirty. And since I got the rest of the engine bay all cleaned up, I have this ugly radiator soot on the alternator and power steering pump I'm going to wash off. So now I can fully slide her around with no engine issues or anything. I still think I want to upgrade the radiator to an aluminum one with a better cooling fan, because these are kind of notorious for getting warm. But other than that, guys, I am so happy to have my Mustang finally running how it should run after owning it for a couple months, trying to fix it the entire time. But anyways, guys, thank you so much for watching. Hopefully you enjoyed this video. Hit that like, hit that subscribe, follow my Instagram, TikTok, YouTube, Facebook, everything under that username right there. And motherfucking peace.